Yeah, Chiefs can take a little time off. Chiefs got the hay in the barn. Chiefs are going to be pretty good this year, and they lead off our conversation about the AFC West win totals, courtesy of our friends at the PointsBet Sportsbook. Chiefs lead the way at 12.5. 17-game season. Chris, is this a 13-4 or better team in your view?
Well, they got a tough schedule. Let's just say that. I mean, their division we know is going to be better. They got to play the AFC North, which we would say I think is probably the best division in football, right? It's them or the NFC West. So from that standpoint, I go, okay, I don't know if I see 15-2, 14-3, but I think they're right around that 13-4, 12-5 area. Listen, Mike, on my podcast, I picked them to go under at like the 12-5 area. But I'll say this. This weekend, I'm watching film a little bit and dallying around, and I'm watching the Chiefs, and I'm going back and watching a bunch of Patrick Mahomes throws. I'm kind of watching their offense. And the one thing that jumped out to me, again, the damn guy wasn't protected the whole year, and they went 14-2. Would have been 15-1 if he had to play the last game. I mean, it's really remarkable when you break it down and you go back and watch and you go, man, there's just so many times where he leaves the pocket. He doesn't get to throw within the pocket. I was trying to show my son a few things he does mechanically, and I go, wait, hold on. Well, the next throw, he'll stay in the pocket, and you'll see it. Oh, no, he left the pocket. Oh, no, he left the pocket again. Oh, he left the pocket again. Now with this offensive line and what they got there, I just go, man, he's going to be protected, and they could be dangerous. So I'm going to go slightly over. I'm changing from my Unbuttoned podcast. I'm going to go 13-4 type of year for the Kansas City Chiefs, Mike.
Sounds like you need to be a little more buttoned up on your Unbuttoned podcast.
Apparently.
You're trying to have it both ways. I'm going to go over.
Yeah.
Look, and I know that we still need to see whether or not Patrick Mahomes has any lingering problems with the toe that had surgery just a few days after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But he is still Patrick Mahomes. They have improved on their biggest weaknesses, and they still have the biggest strength that any team in the NFL has in Patrick Mahomes. So I go over. Chargers, the team that was number 8 in my power rankings, 9.5 over/under win total. I think you know where I'm going. I'll take the over. Where are you going?
I'm kind of on the under. I'm right there at 9 and 8. As far as the Chargers, I got to see to believe. I understand that there's talent on the roster like we've talked about, but there's one thing about being talented on the roster and then going out there and executing games and winning games in the NFL. And I guess that's where I'm just a little hesitant about crowning them quite yet. I see the potential in the football team overall, but yeah, I think they're a team that's kind of like flirting with the playoffs in December, but just is on the outside looking in when all's said and done.
It's one of the teams I got a feeling about this year. I could be wrong, but I just got a feeling.
Right.
Broncos, over under 9 wins. I got a feeling that they're going to be under. Do you agree with my feeling on the Broncos, who have not had a winning season since the year they won the Super Bowl in 2015?
Definitely. I'm going under. Not much. I mean, I think they're another one of those teams like the Chargers where you could just say, watch out for. There's a lot I like. I want to see how the quarterback situation plays out. I want to see, how good is that run game going to be. I do think their offensive line's really good. The defense on paper, it looks like it's going to be really good too. But again, it's another one of those where I can't put my name behind it quite yet. Not here early September without any games played, and especially in the AFC, as we've talked about so many times over the last few weeks. It's just so deep and so good. When it came down to it and you're trying to find your 7 teams you put in, I just couldn't do it with the Broncos. So, yeah, I think they're right around that 8-9, 9-8 type of record this year.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. They finished in last place in the division last year, so they get the Jets. But otherwise, 4 of their games against the Chiefs and the Chargers. Then they get the Ravens, Browns, and Steelers because of that rotation where they play all teams from the AFC North. That's 7 of your games right there where you're going to say the Broncos can't win. Now, look, maybe they could steal 1 or 2, but that's almost half of your schedule of a crippling array of opponents who are clearly on paper better than you, so it makes for a long year for the Denver Broncos. Raiders, the last place team based upon the win projection, 7.5 over/under. Which way you going?
I'm going under, just barely. I think this team, this division's good. No cupcakes, that's for sure. But like we discussed the Raiders a little the other day, it's hard to get a feel of what is the team. What's the one area you look at and go, oh, man, they're so great in that area that they're going to be a matchup problem? Like, yeah, I think Derek Carr's real good. He can be as efficient as anything, but efficiency isn't always going to get it done. You got to make plays, got to get turnovers, and that's where I go on defense. Like, who's the guy in the front seven that's going to really disrupt things? Can Yannick Ngakoue kind of find his form that he had back in Jacksonville a few years ago? I got to see that first before I just jump onto that bandwagon there. And offensively, a new offensive line. Can Henry Ruggs come through and be as good as we've discussed earlier in the week that they think he's going to be? There's just too many questions there about the identity of the Raiders for me right now to say over. It's an under team.
Yeah, and just a weird sense of dysfunction internally. We talked about the whole Mike Mayock, John Gruden dynamic. Gruden is safe, and Gruden knows he's safe. Mayock's the scapegoat this year. Paul Guenther was the scapegoat last year. And they're in the same predicament as the Broncos. Even worse because they weren't the fourth-place team in the division. They were third place. So you know who they get? They get the Patriots next year, not the Jets. And they have the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers, and the Chargers twice, and the Chiefs twice. Good luck with this schedule, Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, it is. It's a tough schedule. And, yes, they're just not the type of team that you can really look at any matchup and just go, oh, well, they're better than them. Okay, the Bengals, week 11. I can certainly say that. The rest of them, you go, man, there's not a lot of room for error there. They're going to have to play a pretty perfect football game. I know Gus Bradley's back as the defensive coordinator. Gus was with Gruden in Tampa. I think he will, make the defense better and more formidable. I don't know if the talent's good enough to get it done. So the Chiefs are still the kings of this division. It is bothering me that I picked the under on my podcast and over on the show, Mike. So I'll just take the under. I'm going to say the Chiefs go 12-5, all right? I'm going to go back to that. But can I bring up the Chiefs? One more thing.
You're bringing something up from 5 minutes ago. I need to say something first.
Oh, please.
Because if you were looking on that schedule for when the Raiders play the Patriots, you wouldn't have found it. I was wrong. See, the Raiders actually finished second in the division, so they played the Dolphins. They were ahead of the Chargers. They avoided the Patriots. Congratulations. You get to play the Dolphins instead, which it's not like a dramatically easier opponent.
No, we saw the Dolphins go in there.
For that matter.
Right. We saw the Dolphins go in there on a Thursday night last year and beat them, right, in a big football game. Remember Fitzpatrick got his head ripped off and made that third down throw down the sidelines or whatever? That was pretty amazing. Can I make one more point about the Kansas City or just a question? Like, I am intrigued to see who's going to be that other weapon on their offense this year, or what's that other element of their offense going to be? Are they going to just stay status quo and be like, hey, we're going to run the same thing we've been doing. We're just good, and now he's protected, and we'll beat you? Or are they going to have an element of, like, we talked about run game or short passing game to bring defenses up and be a pain in the butt that way? They have a tough schedule, but, I mean, still Kansas City is the king of the AFC. I can't deny that.
This is the upper out year for McCole Hardman, really.
Yes, right.
The
That's
compliment to Tyreek Hill. The guy that the night, not the night, but he was drafted on night 2 in 2020, 2019. That was when all that stuff was percolating and nobody knew what was going to happen with Tyreek Hill. Yeah, it was 2019. This is year 3. And Sammy Watkins is gone. Somebody's got to step up. It can't just be Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. There's got to be somebody else. Whether it's Byron Pringle, McCole Hardman, somebody's got to do it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.